This is Attorney Mike Grevlin coming to you from Chicago, as usual. And today we're going to go back to a good old-fashioned sovereign citizen court fail in something we're going to call sovereign citizen court fail number 14. Let's do it.
Just pass this matter so we can, and Mr. Rodriguez, if you're out there, please speak up.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
I'm able to, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. All right, we'll call the matter Appeal versus David Rodriguez. And this matter is on for an arraignment. And do we have a copy of the misdemeanor complaint?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, I have a copy of a misdemeanor complaint that's been filed against you in FCR 352179. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you can't afford one, I'll appoint one to represent you at no cost. Would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Well, Your Honor, I just wanted to make sure everything here today is on the record, as I believe.
It's on.
Oh, here we go. Let's make sure it's on the record. All right, there's one frustrating thing is we just have this static picture of him here. I don't even know if that's him. And spoiler alert here, he sets it over for another date. And I tried to find that. So if any of my sleuths can find the subsequent date that's already occurred, I'd be more than willing to do a follow-up, but I just couldn't find it. You know, I'd like to follow up on it.
It's on the record,
okay.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay, yeah. So out of necessity, I answer to that name, David Rodriguez. But in doing so, I reserve my rights and waive all benefits and privileges. And I'm only here under duress and threat to menace. And,
okay, Mr.
What the hell is he talking about? I only answer to that name by, because I have to. All right. Yeah. Like anyone else. You've been charged with the crime and that's your name. That's what you got to do.
Rodriguez, Mr. Rodriguez, sir, would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Sir, with all due respect, I do not consent to these proceedings, and I do not consent to doing business with the prosecutor or the petitioner. And I believe I've done no harm. Is there any other business before the court?
The question was, do you want an attorney? If you don't think you've done any harm, then what you would do is present a defense. And I would suggest you get an attorney to do that.
Court?
Well, I need to have you, I'm going to indicate to you that I have a misdemeanor complaint where it's charged you in count 2 with a violation of Penal Code Section 148A1 occurring on or about April 22nd, 2020. And in count 3, actually that's count 2, in count 3, a violation of Penal Code Section 148A1 occurring on about the same date, April 22nd, 2020. That's Officer Lujua. That's in count 3. And in count 2, it's Officer Stevens. And what I can do is I'll put this matter over for a pretrial conference to June 18th, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. in Department 17.
Objection.
And you are ordered to be there at that time and date. You were previously released on your own recognizance. I'll continue your release on your own recognizance. However, you must appear, or you can appear by Zoom on June 18th, 2021. And that'll be the order.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, will that be pre-trial since he's not?
Yeah, objection.
Yes, be a pretrial.
I do not consent, Your Honor.
Okay, your objection is overruled.
Your Honor.
I really like that. It's very simple, but I really like how the judge did that. I wonder why a lot of the other judges I see don't do that. It's just a bad objection. Simply overrule it. Don't get emotional about it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to get excited. Just overruled. which is exactly what he did. And I kind of liked him. The thing that strikes me as odd is he says it's an arraignment, and then he just lists the code provisions, but he doesn't say what they are. Usually they would read the charge or have the prosecutor read the charge, one of the two, depending on the procedure where you're at. And I'm just disappointed that it didn't happen, because I want to know what the underlying charges are. I'm frustrated here because this is sort of an interesting appearance, but I'd like to follow up on it. And I tried, but I couldn't locate any more information about it.
Just for my own clarity, the public defender's office is not appointed at this time?
No, it's not appointed.
Got it.
And can we just address the threat and violence, which I'm here for today, Your Honor? I mean, I'm only here because this court has threatened me.
I'm not threatening you, Mr. Rodriguez. I'm putting the matter over for a pretrial conference. I did only simply advised you of the nature of the charges pending against you.
And, well, what if I didn't?
I'm going to keep saying it if they keep saying it. They always say I'm only here under threat of duress and coercion. This is a variation on that, straight from our friends at the Marrakesh Law Society, and many others. My answer to that is, of course. That's the whole system of law. You follow the law, or you have bad consequences, like having warrants issued, or being put in jail, or getting fined, or something like that. That's how we enforce law. They approach this with the presupposition that it's not allowed to have consequences. I don't know who told them this, but it's wrong.
Show up today?
Pardon me?
What would happen to me if I didn't show up today?
Then a warrant would issue for your arrest.
And then would they throw me in a cage and lock me up and chain me up?
Well, I don't know if that's what they do to you, but they would try and get you back to court.
They'd arrest you and drag you down to the lockup and until the next court date, something like that. Yeah.
Isn't that violent, sir?
Well,
again, so this infantile thought process, violent to what end? If you resist, it probably will be violent. They will use the necessary force to carry out the law. That's what they'll do.
it may be violence if you're not abiding by a court's order. So you need to be here on June 18th at 9:30 in Department 17.
Sir, I have
Mr. Rodriguez?
I have a firm good faith reliance that all officers of this court have executed sworn oaths of office.
I have a firm good faith reliance. Oh, please.
To support state and federal constitutions and to uphold the law. Officers of this court are required to report criminal activity as soon as they become aware of it. I have been a victim in this matter since it was initiated and perpetuated on me on April 22nd, 2020 from the officers. This is through blatant fraud and violations of due process.
You may have a valid defense to these charges. However, we're not trying your case today. And so I'm putting it over to June 18th, and I'm ordering you to be present at that time. You understand, sir?
I make a motion to dismiss based on lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
This is incredibly stupid, as it always is, but I do like that it's straightforward. He makes a motion to a judge who he thinks doesn't have jurisdiction, except to grant his motion to dismiss. They only have jurisdiction to the extent that they can help the guy, but in any other event, they don't have jurisdiction. But he makes his motion, and the judge handles it right.
The motion is denied. And I'm putting the matter over to June 18th, Your Honor.
Objection.
Just a second. Mr. Miller?
Are we going to proceed with the FatRat waiver stage, Your Honor, with this, or are we going to carry that over into the next court date?
I'm going to put it over the next court date. I'm advising merely he has a right to be represented.
I'm not sure, but I think that's that inquiry that they do to see if you're capable of representing yourself, and that's why I really kind of want to see that court appearance. I hope I can find it. If I do, I'll do a follow-up.
represented by an attorney. It doesn't appear to me Mr. Rodriguez wishes to be represented by counsel. Is that true, Mr. Rodriguez?
No, I'm here to address the matter today, sir, and just to address that I'm here under threats of violence and coercion and that there was no consent to deal with this court. I've been the victim, and I'm requesting that the case be dismissed because nobody in this court possesses legal standing or personal knowledge and have perpetuated fraud to lower my status from man to a respondent, in essence a ward of the state of California. And today
it's just wrong from the start. I'm not here to address that. Yeah, you are. You're here to have your charges read to you, and then when the judge asks, do you want to be represented or not, that's what you're here for, whether you like it or not. I get it. If you don't say anything, he'll presume no. Fine, but that's what you're here for, my friend.
Mary Nguyen nor this court have been able to provide any evidence having personal or subject matter jurisdiction to be even involved in this alleged matter.
Then why are you here?
And so I just make a motion to dismiss because I'm not able to proceed without consent and without jurisdiction.
Your Honor, can we just make sure that defendant is entering a time waiver at this time?
He's not been arraigned.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm putting your motion to dismiss is denied. I'm putting the matter over to June 18th at 9:30 in Department 17. You're ordered to appear at that time and date. Do you understand?
Sir, the alleged...
That's not my question, Mr. Rodriguez. Do you understand?
There's no evidence of...
Mr. Rodriguez,
agency.
Mr. Rodriguez, please answer my question. I'm asking you whether you understand that, and if you don't, I'm telling you to be here on June 18th at 9:30, and that's the order.
Sir, I've been the victim here. And
Mr. Rodriguez,
there's no injured party, there's no injured man at all.
Terminated.
Well, there you have it. That was interesting to me. I didn't catch it when I did the first look at it. One of the attorneys said he hasn't been arraigned yet, which was kind of what I thought in my prior comment. They didn't actually read the charges to him, but so he just sets it over, and I guess he'll read the charges at that time. Apparently, whatever timing issues they have aren't triggered until arraignment. So the judge just kind of didn't want to deal with him. I don't know where he was in his call, but he just thought, I get it. You're doing this crazy stuff, and we'll just deal with it next time when you're there. So if any of my sleuths can find that court appearance, I would love to follow up on it. I tried to do a little bit of search. This guy's got a common name, David Rodriguez. I think it's in Santa Cruz, although I'm not sure. And I saw some stuff, but I'm not sure if it's him. So I don't want to add that to a video and then find out that I'm talking about a different person. So I still thought it was pretty interesting, and it still shocks me that people continue with this stuff. But I mean, that is June of this year. I'm making this video in July of this year, so it wasn't that long ago, and someone is still trying this horrible nonsense. Here at Law Talk, I share my years of education and litigation experience with you. No, I don't. What I do is I laugh at people who are doing silly things mostly. I have a lot of fun with it. I hope you do too. And I can tell you that the boys really appreciate it.